Good morning, children. It was nice and loud, wasn't it? Can you hear me at the back, Year 6? Yes, right, let's try and wake those Year 6 children up. So, thank you again, just like Mrs. Keeshan said, for coming in so well this morning. I'm really, really excited about today's assembly. We're talking about something that I think is going to really, really help you in your learning for the rest of this year. First, though, we're going to talk a little bit about perspective. Okay, let's see if you conquered the first challenge, which was learning how to say that value. Perspective? Fantastic, well done. Okay, so I know that last week you were doing lots of learning about the character strength of perspective. I was going into a few classrooms and seeing the learning that was going on. I loved what they were doing in Year 3. They were looking about perspective in art, looking at things from different positions and different angles, and then thinking about how we sometimes need to look at things from a different perspective other than our own. Some brilliant learning going on, and a very important value in action, which I'm hoping to see more of this week. However, today I'm going to talk to you about something a little bit different. Put your hand up if you've ever heard of growth mindset before. Not too many of you yet. Well, that's going to have changed by the end of this assembly, so that's good news. Hands down. I am so excited to talk to you about growth mindset. Since I've learnt about growth mindset, it's really helped me in my learning. Okay? Because don't forget, teachers and adults, we're learning all the time as well, just like you. And growth mindset has really helped me to change how I look at different situations and how I look at my learning. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. But before we get into growth mindset, I've got to tell you about another kind of mindset. This guy, fixed mindset. Now, if something is fixed, then it means it's a little bit stuck. You can't move something if it's fixed. And sometimes people get a little bit fixed when they're thinking about their learning. In their brains, when they're thinking about a task that they're doing, something they're learning about, they get a little bit fixed, they get a little bit stuck, okay? And you can normally spot somebody who's feeling like they've got a bit of a fixed mindset by listening to the words they say, okay? So here's some examples of things that somebody with a fixed mindset might say. I can't do this. Put your hand up if you've ever said that. When you're doing a bit of learning, you've said, I can't do this. Definitely. Okay. Put your hand up if you've ever heard one of your classmates or friends say that. I can't do that. Yeah. Absolutely. So if someone's feeling like, no, I can't do this, that means they're feeling in their head, they've said, can't do it. And the problem is, if people say, I can't do this, they might stop trying. Okay? Here's another example of something someone with a fixed mindset might say. I give up. Put your hand up if you've ever used that one. No, too hard for me. I give up. That is a definite fixed mindset. That's you saying, in your brain, no more. Can't do it. Okay, here's another. I'll never be able to do that. Put your hand up if you've ever said that one in class. Your teacher's there at the board or sat with you on your table, modelling something for you to have a go at, and in your head you're thinking, no, can't do that. I'll never be able to do it. Now this last one's interesting. Yes! Perfect. My work is perfect. Who's ever thought that? Looked at their book and gone, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Perfect learning. Well done, me. Brilliant, hands down. Now that is another kind of fixed mindset, because that word perfect means there is nothing at all I could do better in my learning. That is spot on, a perfect job. Okay? But no learning is ever perfect. We can always improve. How many times have you walked up to your teacher with your book? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I can't wait to show this to my teacher. He or she is going to love it. And you bring them your book, looking at your classmates. Oh yeah. I've finished. I am done. And you bring your book, you show it to your teacher, and you just wait. You wait to be showered with praise. You wait to be told how wonderful you are, how perfect your learning is. And then your teacher says, okay, this is really good. You've made a really good start. And suddenly in your head you're thinking, I don't like where this is going. A good start? I thought I'd finished. I thought my work was perfect. And they said, but don't you think your work, your writing would be even better if you added a bit more of this? And you think, what? I thought my work was perfect. I thought it was done. And now my teacher's told me to go back and do a little bit more to it. Put your hand up if that's ever happened to you. Oh dear. That's because, brilliant, hands down. I do it as well. Sometimes I do a bit of work and I think it's done, and then I get told, you know what, it'd be even better if you added something else, if you did a little bit more. So, a fixed mindset can sometimes be not wanting to try, saying that you can't do something, but it can also be you thinking that your job is done, that what you've done couldn't possibly be improved. But that's not true. We can always add a little bit more, change our learning a little bit, and make it that little bit better. Okay, so I've got a picture to show you now. Look at this guy. Now, you don't see too many babies that look like that, do they? At least I hope not. It'd be quite scary, wouldn't it? Okay. Shh, shh, shh. Listen, I want to talk to you a little bit about this baby. So, this little baby professor might think that he knows everything there is to know. He's got all of his skills. He couldn't possibly learn any more. But imagine if babies actually thought that way. If when you were born, you said, this is how much I know. These are all of my skills. I can't possibly learn anything new. Can you imagine that? Put your hand up if you think that you are better at speaking now than you were when you were a baby. Good, hands down. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's a little bit embarrassing, and I'm only telling you because I'm hoping that you're going to learn something from it. So I want you to try your best not to laugh at me when I tell you this. Will you try your best not to laugh at me? Sam, at least you're honest. Okay, so this is very embarrassing, and this is what my mum does every time I'm showing off. Okay, if I'm trying to make people laugh, I'm putting on a bit of a show, and my mum goes, ugh, and she thinks she needs to embarrass me a little bit. She tells people about me saying words when I was a baby. Okay, because there were certain words that when I first started trying to speak, I just couldn't get them right. Okay, so here's an example. Instead of saying the word ambulance, do you know what I said? Lambulance. You said you wouldn't laugh. Okay, it gets worse. It gets worse. Instead of saying aeroplane, do you know what I said? Wren-a-wren. And this last one must have been very frustrating because I know that I wanted these all the time, but I just couldn't say the word right. So I wanted to say biscuit. Do you know what I said? Skip-git. Very frustrating. Hey, everyone laughed, didn't they? I said skip-git. Very embarrassing. So can you imagine if when we were babies we had a fixed mindset and we said, no, I can't do this. I give up. I can't do this speaking thing that everyone's doing. I can't do it. I give up. It's never going to work. I'm never going to be able to do it, so I'm not going to try. Can you imagine that? We'd all be walking around talking like babies. I know. So, we don't have that attitude when we're babies. We have a great growth mindset. We try everything and we keep trying it until we get it right. So we shouldn't stop that when we get older, because we would never have done that when we were babies. So as we get older in school and as adults, we shouldn't just say, I can't do this. I'm never going to improve. Okay, so, thanks. Here's your challenge this week then. What I want you to do is change the words that you use so you can change your mindset. So we looked at some of the words that someone with a fixed mindset might say. I give up, I can't do this, this will never work, or perfect job. We're going to change those words a little bit to help us think in a more growth mindset. And today, the most important word for us to get right is this one. We are going to look at the power of yet. Now, if you've got a growth mindset, yet is a really, really, really important word. And I'll show you how. So, at the moment, this person, who's someone with a growth mindset, is starting to feel some of those things that someone with a fixed mindset was saying, okay? But here's the difference. They might be doing some learning, doing a task and thinking, I can't do this. But they've got to remember the power of yet. So instead of saying, I can't do this, they're going to say, I can't do this yet. You've got it. You've got it already. I can't do this yet. Let's have a look at another one. I don't get this. I don't get this. You guys have got it. You've got growth mindsets already. This doesn't work. Yes, this doesn't work yet. Okay, so that word yet is extremely important. And when you start feeling like, I can't do this, if you, oh yeah, you've got it. If you start feeling like that, in your head say, no, I can't do this yet. But I know that if I keep trying, if I keep working hard, I will be able to do it. So, who would like to see which teachers have got a fixed mindset and which teachers have got a growth mindset? I thought you might be interested to find that out. So, I've picked some very lucky teachers to come and help me talk to you about growth mindset today. So should we get our teachers up? We've not got all of them, just some, to come and do a little task. So Mr. Ma, Miss Binns, Miss Murta, who's looking extremely enthusiastic. She can't wait to show you about her mindset. And Miss Barrett. Miss Barrett, can you sit on that one? Do you mind swapping? Fantastic. So, take a seat, please. Thank you very much. These teachers, I'm going to do a little task for you. And you're going to watch them while they do it. And you're going to see how they approach their learning. And I want you, in your heads, to be thinking, is that teacher showing a fixed mindset? Or are they showing a growth mindset and trying to improve it and try and make it as best it can possibly be? Okay, so I need you all sitting up straight, watching extremely closely to see which teachers have got which mindset. So, here is the task I would like the teachers to have a go at this morning. They're going to try and draw a picture of the Burj Khalifa. So, we need a nice quiet audience. If they're going to do their best work, they need a nice quiet room. Okay, teachers, good luck. Okay, just remember you're watching them. Oh no. Guys, this isn't a good start, is it? Thing that makes me very worried. Miss Binns said, I can't do this. And she said the worst thing you can possibly say when you're doing a little bit of learning. I'm rubbish at this. Now, there's some children here who were in my class last year, and they know that that word, rubbish, was banned. Not allowed. No one's ever allowed to say, I'm rubbish at this, I can't do it. And look at this, Miss Binns. She's done nothing. Now, Miss Binns is saying she can't draw. Now, we need to help her out here. Instead of saying she can't do it, we need to get her, in her mind, to say, I can't do this. Yes! Exactly. So next time Miss Binns is working on her learning, I hope she'll think to herself, I can't do this yet. Now, there's another word. There's another word I don't like to see on learning. Should we speak to Mr. Marr about what he's done? Now, Mr. Marr, this is a really, really good picture of the Burj. Ooh. He said perfect. Can learning be perfect? It can't. Remember, if someone is saying their learning is perfect, exactly right. It means they've got a fixed mindset because they're saying, I'm not going to try anymore. I'm not going to try and improve at this anymore. So, Mr. Marr, I'm very proud of you for your great picture. However, I don't agree that it's perfect because I think there are always things we can do to improve. Oh dear. Miss Murtagh's looking a bit sulky, isn't she? Are you okay?
I'm fine. You asked me to draw a Burj Khalifa and that's what I've done.
I think you've done a really good job. Are you proud of your work?
Yeah. Fine.
Ooh, it's fine. Do you think if we talked about it a little bit and perhaps got some expert help that you might be able to improve it?
No, not really. I'm not very arty. Fine.
Now, I agree that Miss Murtagh's done a brilliant picture of the Burj Khalifa. I can tell what it is. But she doesn't think that she can improve it. A bit like Mr. Marr, isn't it? So she says it's finished. I'm going to say it's not finished. Yeah. Yet. Because we can always improve. Now, look at this. So Miss Barrett, she had a go at her learning. Okay. And then when she found it a little bit tough, did anyone notice what she did? What did she do? She asked somebody for help. She got somebody to help her out. So even when it got a little bit tough, she was finding it tricky, she thought, okay, what can I do to improve? What can I do to make this better? She didn't just give up, okay? She didn't say, like Miss Binns, I can't do this, and not try. Okay, she did her best, she improved, and she kept going. So, put your hand up if you think Miss Binns has got a growth mindset. Put your hand up if you think her mindset was a bit fixed. She thought she couldn't do any better. She couldn't have a go. Put your hand up if you think Mr. Marr has got a growth mindset. Some of you. I'm glad that he was positive about his learning, but actually, let's see how many hands up for fixed mindset. Yeah, a few more, because he thought it was perfect. Okay? Although I'd be a bit worried about Mr. Marr trying to grow his brain anymore, look, because it might come out of his head where he's cut it. Well, no, you've got to look after Mr. Marr this week, okay? What about Miss Murtagh? Put your hand up if you think she's got a fixed mindset. I think she did. She said it was fine, but she said she wasn't interested in doing any more to it. Put your hand up if you think Miss Barrett's got a fixed mindset. Put your hand up if you think she's got a growth mindset. She does, doesn't she? Should we give Miss Barrett a big clap? Well done, Miss Barrett. Thank you very, very much, teachers. I'll see if I can find a nice frame for you to put your gorgeous pieces of art into. So there you go. There's some examples of having a fixed mindset about something and thinking you can't improve it or that you can't do it, and some examples of having a growth mindset. So, the last thing I'd like to do this morning is tell you a story. Okay? And this story is about a very special giraffe and his journey to having a growth mindset. Now, you know, when I'm telling a story, I like people to help me out and get some actors at the front of the room. So if you think that you might help me out, I'm going to need to see your best possible sitting in this hall. And it'll be those children who are showing me their best listening behaviour, their best learning behaviour, that I might be able to choose to help me out with my story. So the first character I'm going to need is Gerald. Gerald is our giraffe. Yes, please. I've picked a nice tall child to be my giraffe because we know giraffes are quite tall, don't we? So, welcome to Gerald. Let me start telling you a little bit about Gerald. Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully crooked and his legs were rather thin. He was very good at standing still and munching leaves off trees, but when he tried to move around, he buckled at the knees. Not good. There you go. Good old Gerald, bless him, he's trying his best. Now, every year in Africa, they hold the jungle dance, where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. So we've got some more animals now. So I need... Yes, I think you could be a warthog, Marcel. Up you go. You're my warthog. What a lovely animal to be chosen to play. Lucky you, Marcel. I need a rhino. Here's my rhino. I need a lion. Who's going to be my lion? I'm going to need a chimpanzee. I'm sure if I asked the teachers, they could say, yeah, there's a monkey, but I'm going to choose instead. And you need a baboon. Give me a baboon for me. And I've got one last job. This is an extremely important character in my story. See, there's some people who are showing they'd like to volunteer by putting their hand up, but they're not showing me. They're best sitting, so I can't choose them. Any people sat on their bottoms? Yes, good girl. You're going to be my cricket. Okay, so Gerald, if you stay here, all the other animals, can you go over to that side of the stage for me? Remember the name of the animal I've chosen you to be, and you'll need to perform the act just over here, Marcel. Good boy. Okay, next slide. And this year, when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so flat, because when it came to dancing, he said, I know I can't do that. Yet, it's exactly what you should be thinking, but at the moment, it sounds like Gerald's got a bit of a fixed mindset, doesn't it? Let's see if we can change it. Here he is, look, not happy. I know I can't dance. So, the warthog started waltzing. Give us your best waltz, bit of dancing. Oh yeah, look at those moves. So a nice confident warthog. Lovely, Marcel. Can you dance your way over to that side of the stage for me? There's a good warthog. And the rhinos rock and rolled. Where's my rhino? Give Give us a bit of rock and roll. Oh, fantastic. Next. The lions danced a tango. Where's my lion? Here he is. Very nice. That was elegant and bold. The chimps all did a cha-cha. Where's my chimp? There she is. Just a bit of dancing with a very Latin feel. And 8 baboons, although we've only got one, all teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. Gives a bit of baboon dancing. Look at that. Fantastic. Thank you, dancers. Can you keep dancing silently and face your audience? Well done. Okay. Now, here comes Gerald. Gerald swallowed bravely as he walked towards the floor. But the lions saw him coming, and they soon began to roar. "Hey, look at clumsy Gerald," the animals all sneered. "Don't you know giraffes can't dance?" It was worse than Gerald feared. Poor Gerald. Not only has he got a fixed mindset about his dancing, but the other animals, they've also got a fixed mindset about his abilities. They're saying, "You can't do that." Not a good way to be. So, poor Gerald. Then he found a clearing and he looked up to the sky. "The moon can be so beautiful," he whispered with a sigh. "Excuse me," coughed a cricket. Where's my cricket? Come over here. Who'd seen Gerald earlier on. But sometimes when you're different, whoop, whoop, you just need a different song. Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is those branches in the breeze. So imagine that lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to. So this is good. Now, Gerald's getting a little bit of support from someone. Sometimes when we're trying to have a bit more of a growth mindset, we just need someone to work with to help us to improve. So let's see what happens next. With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves had started shuffling, making circles on the ground. His neck was gently swaying, and his tail was swishing round. With that, the cricket smiled again and picked up his violin. Oh, hang on, we've got the same words here. Next slide, please. He threw his legs out sideways, and he swung them everywhere. And then he did a backward somersault. Don't worry. You don't have to do a backward somersault. And leapt up in the air. Woo! Look at Gerald go. There you are. You can see Gerald doing his backflip on the screen. Gerald felt so wonderful. His mouth was open wide. "I'm dancing! Yes, I'm dancing! I am dancing!" Gerald cried. So he can do it. So he shouldn't have been saying, "I can't do it, I can't dance." He should have been saying, "I can't do it." Yeah. Exactly, because he can. There he is. Look how happy Gerald is now. Fantastic. Then, one by one, each animal who had been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied on and watched him quite entranced. They shouted, "It's a miracle! We must be in a dream! Gerald's the best dancer we've ever seen." There he is dancing away. All the animals extremely impressed with Gerald's new dancing ability. He's very good at those backward somersaults, isn't he? How did you learn to dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how. But Gerald simply twirled around and finished with a bow. Oh, a lovely twirl and a lovely bow. He goes again. and a lovely bow to finish. Now, these are the words that Gerald said after he had finished and after he had actually learned how to dance, even though before he thought he couldn't do it. Okay? And these words, I would like you to have a go at learning this week as you learn about growth mindset, because I find if I learn a little song or a little poem about something, it really helps me to remember. So this is what Gerald said afterwards. Next time something feels tricky, I won't get all upset. Mistakes don't mean that I can't do it. I just can't do it. Exactly. So, what I'd really like you to remember, oh, there he is again, good old happy Gerald, is this. If we change our words this week in our learning, and we stop thinking that we can't do things, and we remember the power of yet, and that if we say yet, it means I might not be able to do it right now, but I know I can improve. So if we change those words that we use and say that we can't do it yet, then we're going to be much more successful in our learning. So, can we give our wonderful children, a nice round of applause for their help this morning? Let's go back to your seats. Let's see who's sitting smartly. So I'm now going to hand you over to Mrs. Keishan, who's got some exciting things she'd like to talk to you about.
Thank you,